Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and what we're going to make are cinnamon applesauce rolls or cinnamon rolls. The only difference is the filling is primarily applesauce. So it's kind of a nice little change up than using brown sugar that we're so used to in making cinnamon rolls. If you don't like this particular recipe, my gosh, I've got several cinnamon rolls, peanut butter and jelly cinnamon rolls, you name it, I've got it. So please, check out my channel for cinnamon rolls or cinnamon buns. Now, I made the dough in a bread maker on the dough cycle. You can certainly make this dough by hand if you prefer. I like to do that. I think it's easier, it's quicker for me, and I get really consistently good results when I use my bread maker on the dough cycle. So I'm going to give you the recipe right off the bat to make the dough. It's 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 1/4 teaspoons of dry active yeast, 3/4 of a cup of applesauce. Whether you want to use the unsweetened or the sweetened, they both work great. 1/2 cup of milk, and that's got to be at least at 110 degrees Fahrenheit. I like to put it actually in a mug in the microwave. And in fact, you need 2 tablespoons of butter. So I put my 2 tablespoons of butter in the milk, put it in the microwave to get it to that temperature. You can do it however you prefer. You also will need 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 egg that's been beaten at room temperature. Now, if you are using your bread maker, please follow the instructions on when to put the dry and when to put the wet ingredients in, because all makers are different, okay? So, I'm going to take out the dough. Now, what you're seeing is only half. You'll get 12 rolls out of this. But what I do is I do break it up in half. Now, you can certainly bake it all with what you're going to get out of your bread maker. It's just, of course, you need a larger pan. Otherwise, you can use the 8 or the 9-inch round pans with it. I would suggest to grease your pan or whatever that you want to use. Spraying it heavily. I particularly grease them. I don't think the spray is enough. But anyway, I just put a little flour on my countertop and a little bit on the dough. It makes for a very nice workable dough. It's not real wet. It's not real sticky. It's pretty easy to work with. What I do is I just roll it out to a 12-inch square, or if you want to do a rectangle, feel free. Remember, this is only half, so you're going to get 2 of these if you cut them in half. If not, you can make yourself all your rolls, your 12 rolls at one time. Okay, so that's about it. It doesn't have to be perfect in size, just relatively, that you got it looking good. Okay, we're going to put that rolling pin aside. Okay, now to make the filling, it's really easy. You're going to use 1/4 cup of your applesauce, whatever brand that you want, sweet or unsweetened. You're going to be putting in, let me go to this next, 1/3 cup of granulated sugar into that, and just stir it in a bowl with a spoon, and then you're going to put 2 teaspoons of cinnamon in, and then just stir that up. Now, if you're making 2 of them, then divide it into half so you'll have enough. If you're making 2 batches here. If not, if you're going to have all your dough out, you're going to use every bit of it when you roll out that whole dough and you don't separate it, okay? So then just put a, you know, half if you're making 2 of these, and just with a knife or with a spoon, stay a good inch away from the edge. If you put a little too much, as you're rolling it, you can just take a spoon and take some out, because it kind of oozes out sometimes if you put a little too much. And you won't know that till you really try this. So, you know, you can always take a little out if you put a little too much on the top, okay? And that might very well happen. I'm going to roll the long end, and I'm going to roll this way because I think you might be able to see it a little bit better. When you're rolling it relatively tightly, you're going to start to see if you think you have too much of that filling. And if you do, just take your spoon and just take some of it out like that, okay? There's no problem. If you think you've taken too much out, then, you know, roll it back out again and roll it up. Now what I find is, because the applesauce is, you know, more of it's liquid, instead of rolling it all the way, I'm going to actually bring it up and pull the sides up to seal them. I just find it's easier. So then I just go ahead and I start pinching that seam to the jelly roll style here. And then again, if you think you've got a little too much on the ends, just pull it out with your spoon. I actually just fold mine over like I'm making wrapping a package, you know, 2 sides and then just fold it over. Okay, and now with a little bit more flour here on the countertop, I'm going to swing this around here a little bit and just make sure that my ends are squared off and my seam looks pretty good. Alright, and then use a sharp knife or string or a clean piece of thread to cut your rolls, okay? And what you're going to do is, remember, you're gonna cut 6 of them, okay? So what I do is I generally just start off in the center, and then I start cutting my rolls from there. Now what you'll want to do is, once you place them, let me just cut this one to show you here, okay? Just, you know, take it off, and then quickly just lay it down into your pan and space them a little bit, because what you're going to do is you're going to cover it with a clean kitchen towel or a piece of plastic wrap and wait till these rolls are double in size. Then you're going to bake them at 375, and they're going to take you anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes, okay? But again, you go get a recipe of 12 rolls on these, okay? So let me rinse my hands quickly, and then I want to show you what they look like once they are baked up. Now, I did put a glaze over them, and it's really easy. Just take a cup of powdered sugar, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and then a tablespoon of milk or water to the consistency of how thick or thin you want your topping or your icing or your glaze to be. But you can see how beautiful that these rolls come out, okay? They're slightly warm yet, but let's cut into them so that you can see the texture of the dough and just get a better look of what this applesauce cinnamon roll looks like. They just bake up so nice and tall. I don't know if you can see that. And then I'm going to just press on it to show you how delicate, how light these are. These rolls are not heavy. They're not dense. You got your beautiful golden brown on the bottom and the top with the glaze. And again, let me just pull. You can see how it just peels away, how very thin and light that this dough is. They're just soft, they're moist, they're delicate, They're just absolutely delicious. Again, I don't know if you can see that on the camera and they're so light. They're so delicate. They will melt in your mouth. They're so great at breakfast, maybe with a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, that kind of thing. I think you're really going to like this recipe, and I think it's kind of unique because the filling, as I said, you're not using brown sugar, which is traditionally you're using applesauce. So it gives that nice flavor throughout the roll of apples, and it smells fantastic when it's baking in the oven. I want to tell you that that's it for me today. I want to remind you, please, to watch my video solely on YouTube. I hate to, mention this at every video I do, but it's so disappointing to see so many people that take your videos and to other sites and what have you and profit from them. And I really have stopped putting the ingredients list on, as so many other people that are on YouTube that I've talked to. So I'm sorry about not having the ingredients, but I try to go as slowly so that you can get everything that I said how I made these rolls. Also, if you try this recipe and you like it, well, leave a comment because I'd love to hear from you. But again, if you're not on YouTube, I'm not getting your questions. I'm not getting your comments, and I can't answer you, which is so frustrating. So again, please check out my videos solely, and they're only on, and I place them only on YouTube. So I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. If you're so inclined, boy, I'd appreciate you to subscribe or ring the bell or even give me a like. I just appreciate it so much. So have a great day, and I'll see you soon.